welcome to this Fund Your Passion podcast. And today I'm very excited because we are at Topaz Detailing. Now I'm delighted that joining me, as usual, my co-host Darren Selig, founder of JBR Capital, and Nabil Naamo, founder of Topaz with your brother.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for hosting us today.
Yeah,
now, of course,
not
you
at
can
all.
hear lots of noises. That's because work is taking place. What is going on down there?
It's a car wash. It's a car washing that's happening right now. Yeah, you've got car washing, machining, air, blow dryers going off.
My Audi Q7 is outside.
Yes.
And it hasn't been washed for about 3 months.
Yeah.
So maybe there'll be some nice benevolent soul.
do you know how many
We'll
times-
take it in there and make it look amazing once again into
you know
its
how
former
many-
glory.
I was about to say, how many times
I
has
get
this
asked that
happened?
question? And you know,
Yeah.
if a family member comes or whoever it is,
Yeah.
do you think I can get my car washed?
But this is how it started, isn't it? Because you and your brother
Yeah.
were doing some work on your dad's Mercedes. Is
That's
that
right. Yeah, that was our practicing ground.
Oh,
That was the one that got really.
How old were you at that point? Was this when you were very young?
I was. Yeah, it depends what you call very young, right? So I was 24, 23 at the time, and yeah, I was just like, I can't work for someone. It's just not my thing, and so I was like, let me just start practicing.
But you were working for someone at that point.
Yeah, I was in property. Yeah, I was a estate agent. So I was like walking around with keys, opening doors, showing people, oh, come in, look at this. I was really bad at my job because my mind was somewhere else. I was always thinking, what is the thing that I need to be doing? So
Were cars always the thing that
Yeah.
really interested you and sort of
that's-
motivated you?
Yeah, Maz. So Mazen his pure passion was cars. I mean, he sleeps, wakes up, breakfast, lunch, dinner, cars, everything to do with cars. And then I'm very, very sort of business orientated. I like business. I like growing businesses. I like the whole journey of having a business and seeing what we can do with it. So it was almost like, Maz was like, oh, we've got supercars. Well, they weren't supercar. I mean, we had an M3 at the time and stuff like that. And for us, it was a supercar. I felt like it. And it was like, where can we get them detailed? Where can we get them valeted? Where can we get them looked after? And Mazen would be like on the weekends spending loads of time doing everything wrong because he's not very good with his hands. and
On your dad's car?
not on his own car.
On his
he had
own?
a Fiat
Oh, thank
Punto, a
goodness.
yellow one. Yeah. Yeah, so he'd be sitting down trying to polish it
Would
all
he
day.
agree with your
I think
that?
so. Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. Yeah. I think he would. But he didn't agree with the fact that on Sunday, every Sunday he would clean up his Fiat Punto the whole day. I'm not joking. The whole day he'd be working on it. Then he'd drive it out, and then I'd get an egg and I'd lob an egg straight at it.
That's so mean.
I can't remember why I did that. It's because I think he'd annoy me the day before or something. So anyway, so that was like a running joke that we have now. So yeah.
Are any of your cars now yellow? It just seems yellow and egg.
Yeah, I know. No,
No.
since then that was the last
Stay
yellow
away
car
from
we've
yellow.
had. Yeah.
Okay, so for the people that don't understand, obviously you've just sort of brushed on it there, but you're talking about valeting, but now we're talking about detailing.
Yeah.
So just tell us what you do and sort of what the difference is.
Yeah, see, the lines were blurred right at the beginning because people didn't know the difference between detailing and valeting. People thought valeting is detailing or a version of, but it's not, because valeting is a simple function of cleaning a car. That's what it is. You're just cleaning a car. So now your Audi would come in, I'd clean it.
I'm a terrible valeter.
Right? So half an hour later, 20 minutes later, the car's clean. You know, that's what valeting is. A car, when it's brand new, it'll come to us, I still think it's dirty. I still think the paintwork is not good. So they'd be like, well, it's a brand new car, what do you mean? And that's the difference of level you're looking at between valeting and detailing. Right?
Okay.
And you start looking into the whole paint on a molecular level when you're detailing, if you're good, because a lot of people say they're detailers. Of
That
course.
poses a very, I think, a very interesting question. So customers are spending, in some cases, an awful lot of money
Yeah.
on their cars. And, do customers ever raise the question they expect a higher standard from manufacturers in terms of the paints and the finish and the quality?
Yeah.
Because a lot of our mutual customers bring their cars here, literally straight from the dealer, to have work done on it.
Get that all
Which
the
to
time.
me is like saying potentially the paintwork isn't up to
standard in the
up to
beginning.
standard in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, particularly when
Yeah.
so many manufacturers now have got sort of special vehicle,
Yeah.
bespoke options.
Which are usually better. The ones that are sort of, Ferrari is a prime example. When you go for the triple layer expensive paint, usually the finish comes better than the standard finish. But people, I mean, we've always had this issue with whether it's Ferrari, Lamborghini, whether it's Porsche, whether it's even Mercedes, loads of different manufacturers, and they have to draw the line, don't they? They have to draw the line to go, this is what the standard is, this is what's acceptable for 99% of our customers, so we're fine with that. And if you're that particular, or if you want it to be perfect, then you have to go for a triple layer paint or send it to Topaz, you know, and that's I think the battle we've had for customers' perspective, not understanding, as you rightly said, I've just bought £200,000, whatever it is, why isn't it right?
But they think they should just take it home and they're done.
Yeah. So it needs there are levels in life with everything, right? There's
Obviously,
levels.
being from the finance side, does detailing, paint protection, films, all this kind of stuff help maintain the value of the vehicle?
Of course, yeah. I mean, dealers love doing that because now we have dealers that are actively saying to people, put PPF on your car, and we're doing it for them.
PPF.
Yeah,
What
PPF.
No, explain what it is.
Okay, paint protection film.
Yeah.
That's the abbreviation.
Yeah.
So we again in the UK, similar to how we did detailing when it wasn't really in existence, which is really all about paintwork and enhancing paintwork. We thought protecting it, and that's our slogan: enhance, protect, maintain. Right. Yeah. The protection part of our business wasn't really there, apart from ceramic coatings or waxes, which do a great job, but it's not a full protection system. It doesn't physically stop stone chips, penetrating the paintwork. So we were doing the rounds of how we're going to improve our protection for our customers, and then there was a film that was 3M, which everyone's probably heard of.
This is an adhesive film as opposed to a spray film.
Adhesive film, yeah. So it's literally like something similar to what you get on your mobile phone screen covers, screen protectors, but not glass, not hard, soft, like plastic. And it would yellow, and it would look horrible, and the designs would look like line down the bonnet. It just wasn't really something that you'd want to put on your car. We didn't put it on any of our cars, so we were like, how can we improve this? And at the time, technology of film was getting better and better and better. And when it got to the stage, I think it was about 2011, we were like, actually, this is starting to look really good. But everyone was still hand cutting on the film onto the car. And I was like, we can't have that. We can't be doing hand cutting. So we then started doing our own patterns, and I got obsessive about it, going, how can I design patterns? And only the manufacturer, or two manufacturers knew how to do it properly, and that's the sort of secret sauce. They're not going to tell anyone how they're doing it. So I had to figure it out, and then we upped it. So then we started doing our own patterns. So with the shapes, the bonnets, the doors, the wing mirrors, is everything designed in-house to our specification.
And do you have to take the panels off to apply this, or
you do it on in situ, on the car. Yeah. So that was a game changer.
So apart from that, how else has the industry changed? Because obviously, I mean, to me, the word detailing feels like it's still relatively new. I don't know, 15 years or so, that it's sort of become part of the colloquial. How have you seen the industry change? Because
I think detailing specifically. So paint protection film is younger than detailing because it was just horrible. No one wanted to put paint protection film on their cars because of it being yellow and stuff, and the adhesive just going yellow. But detailing has been around for a long time in America. That's where it originated from. They call there isn't valeting there. It's all detailing. So for them, detailing is a much wider term. So they'd go, if you're going to get the car washed, I'm going to get it detailed. If you're going to get it's literally you have automated car washers and then you have detailers.
Okay.
That's how the whole thing started. In the UK, you'd have car washing guys who are valeters. Yeah. And you'd go in for a valet. You'd go in and valet your car. Spend 80 quid, 50 quid, and then you'd get the car to be clean. So the industry's now changed because customers are more in tune with what paintwork should look like and how it should be protected. And that's down to social media. That's down to pushing.
Because presumably, I mean, we were filming with Shmi
We were.
recently, and you did some work on his car. Very
Yeah,
distinctive.
A few. Yeah, a
Very
few
distinctive.
cars.
I mean,
yeah.
how has the whole socializer, social media influencer thing,
Yeah.
how has that sort of developed and grown the business or affected it?
Yeah, it's made a big difference. So you know, with Tim specifically, so we've known each other since you know, the early days when he was doing, you know, he was a car spotting. When he
Yeah.
bought his first McLaren, he brought it over to us. He's like, oh my god, you know, and we've had an amazing relationship since then. And he's done great in terms of creating awareness as a platform for car lovers. And I've wanted to do a similar thing for what we do. So now on our YouTube channel, we've got a good following. You know, at some stages we were getting 2 million views a month on what we were doing. So it was working really, really well. And it does work very, very well. So, you know, from yeah, you can push it. Yeah, it opens
all the
up.
secrets
Yeah,
are.
I'm like,
It's all the chocolate. The chocolates are in there. You don't want to look into that.
no,
Yeah.
no.
So then
Just healthy nuts now.
I think
That's
that's
it.
exactly, and I don't have any in that drawer. so then we started, obviously on his channel, he started putting the process of paint protection film, of detailing, and with me hijacking his camera some stages, and I did a
Yeah.
video on his channel, and that started creating awareness from his huge following that he had, and then we then started doing our own YouTube channel and our own social media, and we've been doing it for years now, and it's done amazingly well for our business, because it's just created a platform where people can be updated on what happens.
Yeah.
You know?
But also, I suppose, as you say, technology changes.
Yeah.
What's available? What the options are?
That's right. Topaz skin was a one that we invested in. So
Yeah.
we invested in the technology. There was something that was similar there. We improved it with the manufacturer. It's the top end of color change. If you want the ultimate color change, that is it. It's basically like paint.
Yeah.
It's essentially you're changing the color
Is
of
that
the
where
car.
the name of the business came from?
No, the name of the business is slightly different. There's a lot more meaning to it.
Okay.
So I don't know if I've told you this,
No,
Darren.
I was
but
actually wondering this last night.
Yeah.
How you got to the name Topaz? Which
Yeah,
obviously
so
is
I think
a rare gem, you know.
It's a rare gem.
in a
That's right. Yeah.
Which of course you are.
No, thanks. No, and
Flattery.
no, but you know.
He wants another coffee.
Yeah,
and,
yes,
and the chocolate.
And the chocolates. Yeah, no, it's the other drawers, the
No,
other side.
just when I'm in a position to buy a very expensive car, you know, like a good deal on paint protection.
Oh,
film,
that's
you
what
know,
it is.
that's
Like,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
So
No.
yeah, so you were saying.
So the name Topaz. So we have. When we were younger, we had a friend who was. His name was Ashok, but his nickname was Topaz. This because he had a blue Topaz E46 330 Ci BMW.
Yeah.
He would love that thing. We'd be driving it around and blasting it everywhere and trying to drift it and all this kind of stuff. And we were really close friends with him for many years. He then bought a 911 Turbo S. His father bought it for him when he was 28, and unfortunately he killed himself in it. So he was driving the car too fast on a small road, spun out, hit a tree, and he killed himself. And he was so excited about what the concept of what we were doing, and he's like, "I'm going to be your first customer with my turbo. You know, I want you to detail my car and everything else like that." And then we thought, you know what? Actually, it'd be a perfect thing to sort of call it Topaz, and that's exactly why we call it Topaz. It's based on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice story.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why there's a positive energy to the brand, to
Yeah.
the name.
So obviously the business has been growing enormously as a consequence of all of that, and obviously the great work that you do as well. Where
Yeah.
are you now? Because we're here in North London, but you've got many more sites
Yeah.
and many more coming.
A few sites, yeah. I mean, right now we're in London, HQ, Bristol. We are in Bahrain. We are in Doha, which is Qatar, and we're also going to be opening up in Dubai. That's the ones that are right now obviously opened up. Dubai is coming soon, very soon, and we're also looking to open in Germany and Switzerland as well. And once we have those, because we don't want to do too many in the year, because you know we have the staff, we have the skill set, we have the fundamentals, which is why I've waited before we expanded. It's very important for me. And at this stage, we are, you know, we have enough staff to be able to, and resource to be able to deploy to these sites, and we're trying to do 3 to 4 a year now.
How do you manage that though? Because obviously,
Yeah.
you know, when you're talking about the Middle East, it's
Yeah.
hard for you to just nip over and check how they're getting on in an afternoon.
I'm going on Thursday to Dubai, PCR dependent, so
Yeah, there you
I
go,
can go
exactly.
and check it out for you.
Check it out, yeah, exactly.
I'll
Due
send
diligence.
in my expenses claim for my hotel and flights, no problem. A few restaurants, good restaurants there.
Yeah.
Very
It's
good.
pretty pricey, the
Yeah,
restaurants.
I know, yeah.
Well, the ones that my wife takes me to. Anyway.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, you know, we only give £50 a day for per diems.
Is it?
But yeah,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
okay. So you have
It's
to
enough.
like with it.
Yeah, got
Cheapskates.
Cheapskate, yeah, exactly. So no, but it's no, we have right now where we are now. We're nearly 100-man business, so across the businesses, and so we have the scope to be able to send people out there to do. We have people who manage our franchisees. We have people who design. We have people who support on a technical basis. We have management support. We have sales support. There's a lot of aspects to the business that we have to support on.
I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm thinking potentially the biggest issue with expansion, and I felt this myself in our own business, is finding, in what is a niche specialist industry, is finding good people and potentially going to have to train them in what is kind of a specialist trade to get to the standards that you want. So is that difficult to find the right people
in our
and
business,
train?
It's the most
Because
difficult
in
part.
finance, in what we do,
Yeah.
the luxury end, it's recruiting is possibly the hardest. Hardest part of the job, actually.
Yeah.
So I can imagine it's similar.
100%. I mean, yeah, it's actually one of the worst. I mean, from our businesses and what we do, this is probably the worst that kind of scenario affects us, because our paint protection film specifically, installers, it takes to get to our standard, it takes at least 2 years before getting to our standard.
Yeah.
So, we have to be really committed to the staff, and they have to be committed to us to stay with us to get to the skill set level. So for us, it's very difficult.
You're investing in training.
I'm going to ask a slightly contentious question here. Do you think that youth is actually presents more of a challenge, because people want to come into a business like yours? They love being able to get close to cars that perhaps they wouldn't be able to necessarily get close to, but they're impatient and they don't have the sort of the patience to actually stick with it.
Honestly,
is that one of the problems?
That's a whole hornet's nest, that question.
Yes,
Yes, I would agree with you
But
on
I'm
it.
old enough to not care.
But honestly speaking, I get asked that question. I was in a meeting yesterday talking about expansion in the Far East and other parts, and that was exactly a topic that we talked about for half an hour, because it's such an important part. You're absolutely right. The people who are the younger generation now, with Bitcoin and making money at home, and I don't know, it's just created.
It's social media and technology. It's all about instant gratification. Everything has to be instant and quick
right now.
And they don't have the staying power, so to speak, and to just do the hard yards and the hard labour. And I've read lots of articles about how you're working 14-hour days or overnight to get the job finished. In the early days, I'm sure you're still doing things like that now. You do what it takes, and that's where I often see the difference now, that it's all got to be instant, without doing the hard yards. Without doing the hard yards.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the requirements are different. I mean, to give you an example, I've had to work in our business for the last 14, 15 years to be able to have the flexibility. If I want to work from home one day, I can, right? Because I've got a team of 100 people who can do stuff for me. Someone who's a graduate will expect that flexibility from day one, and that's where I think it's.
I'm just looking at Luca, our marketing graduate.
But that's the thing. Genuinely speaking, though, that's what I think is wrong with what's going on right now, because it's before you'd have to really work your bum off to be able to get to the stage where you have that ultimate flexibility and. You know what I mean, Darren, from your perspective.
I know exactly what you mean, and this is why I'm actually laughing internally, because I suspect that you and Mazin are very similar to me, because we're quite, obsessive in what we do. We're very passionate in our individual trades, and despite at JBR we now have a team of 70 and expanding up to 80 this year. I don't seem to be spending
less time
there, probably more, and I'm still up late doing stuff, and probably my own worst enemy, because I can't take myself out of the loop and just say, apparently I'm getting better at it, by the way, just for the record. But I do struggle with stepping back a bit and letting the team take care of it. And we have a very, very good team, as do you. And I guess it just comes from, maybe it's a generational thing, that you just feel that I need to be doing.
100%. It is a generational thing. I think now it's a totally different thing. The only saving grace for our business is that the cars.
Yeah.
By the way,
People
you know,
love to sit close.
psychiatrists charge a lot of money for chats like this. So.
Shall I invoice you?
For sure. I'm finding it very cleansing.
I think he was suggesting the other way around. Anyway. But also talking about growing your business, because of course now it's not just people weren't necessarily bringing their cars here. Because you've also now got product ranges that you sell.
That's
as
right.
well.
Exactly. So we're trying to diversify our business. There you go.
There
You've got some right behind me.
As if by magic.
Exactly. No, this is the thing. So I'm fully aware that Topaz is a service that is, it's not everyone can spend thousands of pounds on their cars. Not everyone can get to us to spend money in their cars, and some people like the enjoyment of doing it themselves. And we've had so much experience on working on cars for years now.
Hold on, wait a fact. People would actually attempt themselves to put paint protection film on their cars.
No, not paint protection film. No. Now, have you tried putting?
I'm sure I was
screen protector on your
Please
phone.
do not try this one at home. You know.
No, if you try putting a screen protector on your phone, you know how difficult it is to PPF.
It's impossible. I would never attempt that.
No, don't. It's a nightmare. I haven't installed film for many years now, and when I go back to even do my phone, I'm like,
do you give it
it's
someone
bubble.
else to do?
I'm like, well, now I do, honestly, because it's one of those things. It's like a diminishing asset. You have to keep on working on it to keep to get it going. But no, the products they've done incredibly well so far, because they're all products that we have been working on with our manufacturers to go tweak it, change this, do this, over thousands of cars. We do in London. We do about 3,000 cars a year here.
Wow.
Yeah. So Bristol, we're doing about 700-800 cars. So across from Bahrain and Doha now, we're going to be doing circa about 7,000 cars a year as a business. That's if you think about Ferrari doing about 10,000 cars, the whole Ferrari a year. So put it in perspective, we deal with a lot of cars.
Work out what that is.
The car
Downstairs.
Oh, honestly, the amount of cars.
It's the new latest EV car that's.
Oh, shush. We are.
Yeah, it definitely isn't an EV.
No, definitely not an EV.
Yeah.
I can feel the floor shaking.
Yeah.
But obviously this year now, you got a lot to look forward to, because we've had obviously COVID and we've got chip shortages, but we've got a lot of new cars coming out this year.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you? Are there any you're particularly interested or looking forward to getting your hands on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to getting I personally am buying the Urus. I'll talk to you about that afterwards.
Oh, good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was definitely worth coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I'm still looking for the nuts in
still
the drawer.
No, they're not there. They're not there.
No chocolate.
Yeah, no, the chocolates are here actually.
You keep moving them.
Yeah, no, they're here.
They were here. Okay.
We
You're
have
getting Urus.
Urus. Yeah, that's going to be the facelift, whatever they're going to be releasing that.
Okay.
So that's going to be cool. So I'm
I
looking
think
forward
that
to that.
Urus has got to be one of the most popular cars of all time.
They've done
In
incredibly well.
the so-called supercar market, it's just been the saviour of Lamborghini. They sell more Uruses than anything else put together.
I know.
It's insane, but it's such a great car.
It's such a great car, and it fills a niche that people want a 4x4, but for it to feel like a supercar.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what it is. Ferrari obviously going to be doing something similar. I'm looking forward to seeing that too. That's going to be cool. And obviously, I'm a big Range Rover fan, so that's going to be the next one. That's going to come in 4 or 5 months, I think.
So when you get your cars from new,
Do you know this guy's got a habit of doing? He goes to visit dealers just to say hello.
And then
I can bring this up.
And he leaves in a different car because they've managed to convince to sell him to swap the car.
That only happens with Carl.
And then he calls me saying, I've done something stupid, but I need to sort out the money thing.
I'm don't know. That sounds quite good.
Yeah, that was hilarious, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
just
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
So,
I
okay,
walked
what was
in.
that story?
So I walked into Carl, Hartley's.
You've met
Yeah.
Carl. We've
Yeah.
we did
Yeah,
a
yeah.
podcast with
So
him.
I went to. We were doing
I assume that's who he meant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Just
okay.
referring to Carl.
Hartley,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So we went to do a car wow shoot. I was invited to present there, and then I brought one of the cars, and we did that. And I've been back there again, actually. This is going to be a good one, the next one. But anyway, so I thought we were coming down, and we were like, okay, let's just go and say hi to Carl because he wants to talk to us about watches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He wants to get an RM, and he was like, "How can I do it? Because I know you got a good relationship." I was like, "Forget it." So then afterwards we went there, and he was like, "Do you want a sandwich?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to have a sandwich." So he gave me a bacon
He
sandwich.
offered you a sandwich?
He offered me a sandwich.
Oh, yeah,
I
we
know.
never got offered that.
No. But you
Carl,
have to, yeah.
I'm having words with you.
You have to, if you buy a car, he'll give you a
Give
sandwich.
you a sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's where we went wrong.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's where you went wrong. You got to pick up a car. As soon as
He didn't clean my car either, by the way.
didn't
And they
clean it?
have a fantastic valeter there.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's. Yeah. He said to me, "Do you want your car cleaned?" I said, "No, I'll take a car instead."
Yeah. And a sandwich.
And a
Oh,
sandwich.
so you had your bacon sandwich.
They had a bacon sandwich, and then he was like, I was like Tim talking, and I had the Range Rover at the time, and I was like, Tim, yeah, I'm getting a bit tired of my car. I'm getting an itch. He's like, I got something for you, because he knows I bought a G-Wagon off him the last time, exactly same scenario. I walked in, I was like, oh, okay, I'll take it. Then he's like, I'll show you downstairs. I went downstairs, and right in front of me there was this G-Wagon, his wife's car, and he was like, take that. I was like, oh no, why did you have to show that to me? And then I called up my wife and I did a FaceTime. I was like, babe, what do you think of the car? I was hoping she'd say, don't be silly, you don't need another car. She's like, I love it. I was like, oh no. I was like, okay, go on,
Had
Carl.
Carl run this past
Do the
his
paperwork.
wife that he was selling her car?
Probably not.
No, okay. Orcs conversation.
No. I'm sure she got a...
She got something nice.
I'm sure Mitzi got a nice upgrade.
I think she got another G-Wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think he sold it, and then it was meant to go on. So he
They're
hasn't
car
even put it on.
dealers, all right?
Yeah.
I mean, they have
all for
cars.
sale.
Everything's for sale.
Everything's for sale. Yeah.
Everything's for sale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We have
Apart
lo-
from a sandwich.
We have lots of
Did
dealers.
he charge you?
No, he didn't charge me for a sandwich.
We have
yeah.
lots of dealers that come to us and, they're buying, I don't know, some car and we go, well, we're not sure. And they go, no, it's for me, it's my own personal use. It's not for sale. I'm going to keep at least 12 months. Like,
Yeah.
you're a car dealer, you're going to sell it. If someone
You're
comes
gonna sell
along and
it.
offers you a great price, you're going to sell it.
I'm going to sell it. Yeah, speaking of great prices, it's ridiculous. I recently bought a car at a 911 and I got offered the next day more money for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on with the world?
Sell it.
No, I won't
Sell it.
I wouldn't. I
Listen,
wouldn't.
we need to talk Porsches.
But what do you... Oh,
Well,
wow.
yeah.
Interesting you mentioned that.
It's
Yeah.
interesting you mention that. No, I wouldn't sell the Porsche.
It is a
No, I
Porsche.
wouldn't. It is a Porsche. Why would
for
you
sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sell-
if anyone's
I'm
interested.
getting the vibe that you don't like Porsches.
Amanda in the Porsches.
So-
Sorry.
What's the story
I-
about this?
Okay,
I don't know.
it's not that I don't like Porsches, it's just that I don't like them.
This is
Okay.
where I drink my coffee now.
I just,
onto the
I
Porsche
just
story.
have never really found Porsches to be that exciting.
Can I just say something to you?
Yes.
I'm just glad Mazen isn't here.
I can have this conversation
He'll
with
throw a
him.
pillow at you.
You'd be marched
He
out
can
of here.
throw
Lynched.
whatever he likes.
Lynched.
No, I just think if you're going to go for
You won't
something
be going to that nice
special,
Lebanese restaurant, lunch, that's for sure.
he's going to stop sticking
Yeah, exactly.
pins in me.
Right, yeah. So
if you're
you
going to
say-
go for something special, for me
Yeah.
they're just too sterile. They're too good. They're too.
Have you been in Mazen's GT2 RSMR?
Funnily enough, no, I haven't been in his car. No, I only
yeah,
met him quickly
She
here.
does race though.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
right. Okay,
I've
fine.
raced Porsches.
Okay, you're right. Yeah.
She's a
In fact,
professional.
I've won.
Yeah.
Haven't you read a biography?
Yeah. in a Porsche.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. So you know the capability
I
on
know
track.
the capabilities.
Yeah.
But see, this is. Yes, they're great on the track.
Yeah.
But that's why I think on the road, I just find them. It's just not what I
Bit
would
boring.
choose.
A bit boring.
Bit
Bit
boring. It's just
boring.
not what I would choose. I would
Yeah.
choose something different.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, on my car, I'm putting an exhaust on it.
See?
Which you have to, because it otherwise sounds like a dishwasher.
Thank
Or
you.
a washing machine, whichever one it is, depending on how loud it is. But when you're looking at a GT3 RS or a GT3, they're incredible. I have one of that, and I put a JCR exhaust on it, and it's just, oh my God, it's phenomenal. The sound is, you can't say that car's boring.
Yeah, okay, but then the sound is like, okay, if I'm driving here, I need to be able to hear my music or who I'm talking to on the phone.
Yeah. So what's your favorite brand then?
Oh, see, I don't have a favourite brand.
Okay.
But if I was to take one car with me to my grave,
Yeah.
I think it would be an F40.
That's a very big grave.
For best grave.
It's a big grave.
It's a big plot. Do you know how much that will cost?
I know.
Yeah.
That would be the car I take.
F40.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I was going to buy one.
But
I didn't fit in it. I
Well,
did fit in it.
An
but-
F40?
Yeah, but I did fit in it. But it was like, I was like,
yeah.
you know,
But see,
I
this
wasn't
is
even
it.
driving
This
the
is a
car
pure
like that.
car. It's a pure
Yeah.
car. It's an
Yeah.
analog car that
Yeah.
is.
The
I'm looking forward to the
Customer-
new Gordon Murray car.
Oh, that looks
See,
amazing.
that for me is a
Yeah.
car that
but
excites
isn't that
me.
the
Yeah.
perfection of
Yes.
of that? And you just said
Yes.
you don't like the perfection.
No, but it's analog.
Yeah, it's analog. Yeah, I mean,
moving on.
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
My
I would have sold the
my
Porsche.
one of my oldest
Just saying.
customers, who's now a very good friend of mine, who I mentioned to you
Yeah.
before downstairs. There's a great story about an F40 with him because back in the day, a decade ago at least, he wanted to buy an F40, and he had a Ford GT to swap in, and he found one in a dealer that I helped him out with, and this F40 was up for sale for £385,000,
yeah.
non-cap, non-adjusted, and he was. I call guys and girls in the car and see, trying to get a deal and the part exchange and everything, and he said 350, 360, I'll take it. Literally arguing over relatively small sums, I guess, in that world, and he ended up. The deal fell through, and the slight twist in that story was he dropped off his Ford GT for them to sell on sell or return, and somebody who worked in the dealership took it out for a service on the A40 in wet weather, and wrote off the car. So that was quite an interesting scenario. And then the dealer was going to do a deal to pay for the car, and as long as he bought the F40, and better pay out the insurance. It was a whole thing.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
Try
the
detailing
point
that.
the point of the story is
I don't think paper protection film will work on that. Yeah.
you might need a bit of sticky tape.
Yeah.
But the point of the story is, it was his biggest regret, and we still talk about that story about the F40 that
Never happened.
never happened because
Never
that
happened.
car
Shame.
is £1 million today.
Sure.
What would your
easily, right?
favourite
So-
car be then?
Well, I'll tell you that in a second.
Yeah.
But just speaking about a 40,
Yeah.
you know, Maz and I had one, and we bought it starting with a 2.
Did you?
We had one.
That goes
It was-
on the regrets list then.
Yeah, big regret was
Yeah.
because that was either a property or a car. At that time, we bought a car. We only had it for a little while because we couldn't really afford it. It was just bought it because we were like, we have to, experience it, and then we got rid of it. And we got rid of it for the same price we bought it for, £5,000 give or take. And that was, I think, about $285 we paid for it.
How long ago was that? Just
10
say
years
it was-
ago.
Yeah,
About 10 years
about
ago.
the same similar time.
Yeah, about 10 years ago. To 11, 12, yeah, something like that.
muppet.
Yeah, it's like, I know, don't, honestly, the amount of times
You-
that I will, that's why every time I see one, I'm like, I'm not paying £1 million for that. I could have got it for 200, I had it for that. So no, to answer your question, favourite car?
Don't say Porsche.
Here we
No,
go.
it's not Porsche. Mazda would say that, but no, I wouldn't say that. For me, it's not about the driving. It's not about pure driving experience. I think it's a lot more than just that. For me, right? And if you want a pure driving experience, as you said, on track, Porsches are great. You know, they don't break down. They keep going. If you want a Lamborghini, it gives you a different experience. So you know, it's for me. I think something that looks beautiful, sounds amazing, that is okay to drive. It's not going to be the best car
It
driving.
makes you look good as well.
But it makes me look good, slimmer.
Yeah.
You know, is a Zonda,
Yeah.
760. It's just my favorite car. Manual 760 Zonda. It's just the car that I would buy.
Well, we do know we have
Yeah.
mutual clients who brought their, not Zondas, but well, he probably has actually in his time. He has had Zondas.
Yes, yeah.
No names here, obviously, completely confidential.
Yeah.
But he, this individual does like a Pagani, and he had Acquire Roadster.
That's it. Yep.
No, it wasn't a Roadster. Sorry,
No.
it was coupe.
Coupe.
That he had sold and then rebought back, and that was quite an interesting story because there was a wrap put on that car
Yeah, I remember.
that you had to deal with.
I remember. Yeah.
So there's
Or you called me up. You're like, the car's coming, and then the customer called me. He's like, what can we do? What can we do? And this bright thing comes up. I'm like, what is that?
yes, that particular. I was very proud of that wrap, but
Yeah.
I think it was.
Was it a crazy wrap?
It was a crazy rap, but because
Yeah.
it was from a different. I think it works in a sunny country
Oh,
Yeah.
where
okay.
when
If
it's in
come
the
from a
UK.
sunny country.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't work here.
Doesn't look quite as
No.
Yeah, it
sunny.
doesn't work here. Sunny. It's a
No.
bit cloudy.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grey.
So I think it was fair to say the car did look a lot better, restored back to its original
Yeah.
colour, and then with all your beautiful work done on it.
Yeah. We get a lot of cars like that. We get. I mean, look, from a perspective of the split of what we do
Yeah.
new cars, but we also do old cars and classic cars. We get all sorts of people who buy cars like this and go, Maz and Nabil, can you please make sure sorted from bodywork perspective, from it looking original, because we all know, we've seen so many of these cars, we'll know what the original is, so that they'll be like, can you just make sure it is original? And one of those cars was actually, that car specifically, he wanted us to check to make sure everything
Correct.
was all...
Well, I was actually about to get
Yeah.
to that point, because cars that you've done the film and the protection and whatever else is that you're doing to it, it's your work and you know the car and you know it's been done to your standards. But when you take a car that's been done elsewhere, you know, and this was a good example, was we weren't entirely sure what we were going to find on the big reveal, so
That's
to
it,
speak.
exactly,
And,
yeah. What are we going to go
So-
underneath? And that's the thing, and that's
You know,
why...
Because if you start getting through the layers of the paint, then it becomes a whole
it's a
different...
respray. It's a
whole different...
whole different
Yeah.
thing.
Whole different
So you know,
thing.
from our perspective, that's why quality standard is such a big part of our business. You know what to expect. Every time you come to the business, every time you use us, whether it's in Bahrain, whether it's in Qatar, whether it's in Bristol, whether it's London, whether it's going to be in the States, you know, you're going to get the same quality, and that for me is the biggest thing.
So then the follow-up question is, would you decline to work on a car? Have you declined to work on cars because they've come in with work done it from other places that you know may cause potential issues? When
No.
Or just that it's a rubbish car.
It's right.
well, it could be. It might have been a Porsche.
There's never such thing as a rubbish car.
Isn't that?
We've
I'm going
had.
to bring a yellow Fiat Panda.
You honestly, you say that. You say that. We've had all sorts of cars.
Really?
I mean, we've had one of the ones that I've, you know, for me, is an old Volvo. I think it's 25-year-old Volvo. It's done 280,000 miles.
Wow.
He did a full restoration with us. I'm
Why?
telling you, there is no such thing.
You have to ask why.
It's because it means a lot to him. The car means a lot to him. It's had a
sentimental
lot-
value.
Sentimental value. We've had a
Restoration of love.
a Mazda come in. What are they called? The MX-5.
Yeah.
Really?
Right. It come in. The cars at that time was worth $3,000, $2.5 grand. The
spend as
customer
much
spent
having
20
it?
grand with us
Blimey.
to make sure it's fully resprayed, fully level 5 detailed, which removes all the orange peel, and PPF'd. Because she wanted it, because that's the car she grew up in, that's the car that, you know, she met her husband with, and da-da-da-da. So if people do that to sort of keep the memory going,
Yeah.
you know?
It's like Tim Burton-Schmid buying back
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
original Aston Martin
Yeah.
that he had.
There you go.
With
exactly,
the letter
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
glove
Yeah.
box.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah, that's
the
the
one.
thing. So you get that's the thing. So you get a lot of different customers coming in, and we're quite lucky because our customer base are very diverse. We have celebrities to business owners to tycoons to your average guy who you know, a builder who's been saving up for the last 10 years to buy his first Bentley, and he did. And so we love the whole experience of each customer coming in.
That's nice. You get to see and hear some really, really good stories.
Oh yeah, and the bits I love hearing about is where people sell their business for millions and millions and millions of pounds. I'm like, what business was it? I'm so intrigued by that, you know, of what it is. What did you do? How did you get there? What happened? You know, what was the process? For me, that's so it's exciting.
It's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, oh my God, honestly, but the issue is most of these customers don't want to be on camera.
No.
They don't want to be.
Yeah,
they're very under the
They
radar.
want to be very discreet.
Yeah, and rightfully so. You know, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of eyes.
Well, I'm conscious we've taken up a lot of your time, but I've got two more quick questions.
Yep.
One, you haven't told me what your favourite car... Oh, you have told me your favourite car.
760.
Yes. And the second question is, what are you most looking forward to coming in this year? Because you talked about
I talked
the
about the
Urus.
Urus and stuff like that. I think coming in this year, I've always had an itch for Lamborghini. I've had a couple of Lamborghinis, but I'm claustrophobic, so the Aventador doesn't work for me at all. But the new Aventador is going to be incredible. I think that's just going to be really cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And obviously Porsche, I know. Porsche, I'm looking forward to seeing this GT3 RS.
You're really looking forward to that, are
Yes,
you? Okay.
I'm looking forward to getting that.
Just one final question
course
from
is.
me, which is always a growing topic, is the move to electric vehicles and EV and the supercar market. And, you know, do you think that will take some of the kind of fun and passion out of it? Or, I mean, obviously from a purchasing perspective, there will still be cars in the high price brackets.
Can I just say, you need
Yeah.
to answer yes to this, because I saw a new Tesla the other day, brand new Tesla, and the paintwork was shocking.
Yeah.
You could see the big.
Yeah, swirl marks.
Swirl.
Yeah, but you get that. Anything that's mass produced, you'll get that. Even the non-mass produced, you're always going to have that kind of issue.
Yeah, but do you think the fun and passion is going to drain? Is it?
No, I don't think so.
Is this the end of the road for us all?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I love electric. I love electric. I love electric cars. I've had a Tesla. I've had a Taycan. I've just put deposit down for the Plaid Tesla.
Yeah.
The Roadster I want to get. I'm really into my electric cars.
We funded a lot of Taycans last year. I mean, honestly, given they're 150 odd thousand pounds, it's insane how many are hitting the roads and how popular. And actually, people are raving about them.
Yeah,
and they've got actually quite a nice interior. And you know, we had a conversation about
Yeah.
I do like a nice interior, which I think is a little bit lost on the Tesla. It's a bit sparse and you know, steering and screen. I haven't quite got myself to that stage, but the Taycan. If anyone wants to lend me one, I'm very happy to give it a go for a while.
A bit of swirl.
Bit of swirl. But no, I think the electric scene is getting better. But I think the infrastructure needs to get super like boosted in terms of its ability to charge reliably. When I had the reason why I sold my Taycan is because it was a nightmare to do long distance with it.
Yeah.
The Tesla, you don't have that problem because they got their own network, and it works. It works well, and it doesn't break down.
How long ago was it that you sold?
So my Tesla I had 5-6 years ago, and my Taycan was only last year.
Right.
Yeah. So that was new, but to answer your question, I don't think it's going to take away, because the electric car gives you something different to what a petrol car doesn't give you. Instant power. The torque on it is unbelievable. The torque is incredible, and it's actually you want to keep on doing it. It's something that you want to keep on experiencing.
I had a Tesla. Someone did lend me a Tesla for a weekend. I was trying to scab cars off people. Actually, it was Tesla.
Oh, great. Okay, yeah.
And after 2 days, I had a terribly bad back, and I couldn't understand why. Yeah.
Oh, it's because of
and then I realised I was trying to drive it like a 17-year-old. It's basically flooring it.
Oh.
I'd be like this, and then I'd hammer on the brakes and I'm going just too fast.
And nothing to
and
do
I'd be
with the
like
fact
jolting
that you're not
forward
17.
like this. So I was literally going like this the whole time. And then I realised, I'm just driving like a complete idiot, basically.
And you're not 17 anymore.
Yeah, and I'm not 17. So once I calmed down from the initial, it's quite a thrill actually. You know,
it's incredible thrill.
Once I calmed down, I did actually like it quite a lot. But apart from the interior, I did feel like I just need a bit more knobs and whistles and luxury.
I think you'll get that on the Plaid.
It will get there. It will get there.
Yeah. I think so. I think it's definitely better. But final point I want to talk about in this podcast before, which is a bit that people.
It sounds to me like we're going to have to do a part 2. Topaz.
Is the bit that most people don't experience, and me as a customer of JBR, in terms of me using you guys for the finance and stuff like that, I've financed a lot of cars. I've bought a lot of cars in the past. And the difference of what you, and it's not because you're just sitting there, the difference of the reliability of how quick things happen, and when they say something happen. I mean, I always throw the weirdest things at you, right?
Yeah.
And the stupidest timelines in the world. And
well, yeah. I mean, as you were literally driving away from Tom Hartley's showroom,
driving away. Like, okay.
The timeline was almost in reverse. So
exactly it was. No, but from a perspective of just the whole experience, it's so good and refreshing to have. I've used other finance companies. I'm not going to name them because it's not good form. But it's so clunky. It's so monotonous. It's so annoying dealing with finance companies. With JBR, I haven't felt that. And I'm not saying it just because you're there.
nice.
It's a
Thank
really,
you.
really important
Could you
thing.
go on Trustpilot and leave a review? We need to get our rating up. We're now at 4.7. We're doing okay, but 4.9 would be better.
But it is good. I mean, it's good within an industry that has historically come up with criticism
Yeah.
all over the place from the ground up.
Yeah.
It's good that everybody is now, looking after each other and appreciating one another, and you've got some really good companies out there.
But it's important to because we're in the trade. We know what's the difference between, for example, you'll know what the difference between a good job and a bad job on PPF or detailing.
Yeah.
You'll be able to, because you're in the trade, right?
So I think the difference, how we try to, and we're here to talk about Topaz, not JBR, but I think the key differentiator of what we try to do at JBR is we try to immerse ourselves in the captive community, in the enthusiast scene, and share people's passion, which is why we could say fund your passion. Whether it's a car that costs £30,000 or a car that costs £3 million, and people can be passionate about their interests, in this particular case, cars. It's not about the price tag, and that came out a bit, I think, in this discussion that you talked about. Panda, I think, whatever it was that you bring in, you said, oh no, that'd be quite interesting. And so it's not necessarily about value; it's about enthusiasm, and it's about understanding what drives those individuals and sharing that. And by the way, we finance cars.
100%.
But so we understand our sector and the product.
There
we go.
Yeah, there you go. That was no, but genuinely, I really mean it, and
thank you.
And
Very
thanks for your support
so.
as well, because it's great dealing with a company that is reliable, and the more we work together, the more the reliability is there, and it's just there from the first minute when I financed one of the cars and I didn't know you very well till now. It's just great.
Well, on that note, and the
we could keep going on more.
Mutual Appreciation Society of Topaz and JBR.
Yeah, I'm loving that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
it has
for
been
having me,
enlightening, and it's been wonderful to talk to you.
Yeah, you too.
I'm looking forward to having a little look downstairs and seeing what all the noise is about.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll show you all the Porsches.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Dubai site and the Bahrain site.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll invite you out there when I'm there.
It'd be my pleasure to come.
Yeah. We'll have a coffee.
So
we're only joking, by the way.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.